Things continue to go from bad for worse for New York Jet fans. The latest, Sauce Gardner calling out his teammates. Everyone's pointing fingers after this blowout loss, and we got one game to go. Let's roll.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Esdin Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your friggin' podcast here. We are on the New Year's Eve here on December 30th, a little after 7:30 in the morning. Thanks to everybody for joining us. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe as you head on your way in. The Jets got blown out in Week 17, 40-14. At one point, it was 40-0. The Jets called off the Dogs and brought in their backups, and so did the Buffalo Bills. And the Jets got a couple of meaningless touchdown drives at the end of the game to try to make it a little less embarrassing, but it was embarrassing. Got run off the field, players pointing fingers, players tapping their helmets and getting out of the game. It was just an epic disaster of all kinds of proportion. And after the game, Sauce Gardner, when asked, hey, Sauce, was it kind of embarrassing seeing the Jets losing 40-0? That led to a very interesting exchange of words with the media. Roll the footage.
Embarrassing to look up there and see 40-0 in the fourth quarter.
What? Embarrassing? I don't even know if that's the word. Because what was the score the first time we played them?
First time it was 23-20.
Exactly. You telling me now it's 40-0? Like, if you ask me, that means like it's the end of the season. Obviously, we're not going to playoffs. Some people might be checked out. That's just me going off speculation of what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? We beat them my rookie year, right? We beat them before, and it's like they had last year too. They had a similar roster, and we quote unquote enhanced our roster in all areas. So that just tells me like. I don't know, bro. It's not feeling. We can't be playing as a team. We probably just individuals. Because I know last year and the year before, we had a roster that wasn't as talented as this roster, but we found ways to beat the Bills, found ways to win. So we're stopping that now with a more talented roster.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think you're playing as individuals instead of a team?
I don't know. I'm not going to say we're playing as individuals. I'm saying, like, we're not winning with all the talent that we have. So, and we won last year and the year before more with less talent. I don't know what it is. Like, that has to be it, I don't know, bro.
I don't know either, Sauce Gardner. I don't know either. But players checking out. You heard some of DJ Reed's comments. Sauce wasn't the only one that was questioning effort and lack of chutzpah. Aaron Rodgers didn't after the game, but plenty of his other teammates did, including DJ Reed among them, about, again, the lack of effort that seemed to exist. DJ Reed was asked straight up if he sensed a lack of effort from anyone, and he said, quote, I won't speak on that. But he did point about to the offense for their lack of production, saying, quote, it comes down to complimentary football, bro. We're playing a high-powered offense. Josh Allen's the MVP runner-up, whatever, a great player. We have to get shit going on offense, on special teams. You keep having our defense go out there, eventually they're going to do something good. So, yes, defense, we need to be better, but we have to play complimentary football. Complimentary football would be important, and the Jets actually scoring points, but the defense has been giving up leads all year long, so I'm not sure if that's the area of expertise in this particular conversation, but you get it. I mean, unbelievable. And yeah, Jared B. brings up what was going on with Eccles. Eccles being held back by Tony Adams. There was tears. There was yelling on the sideline. I mean, no bueno. No bueno. By the way, in more positive news, let's flip the scrolling ticker because we are running out of time, folks. All the details are in the scrolling ticker now down below. We have an emoji contest and also a raffle giveaway happening. If you want your chance to win an awesome grand prize, which we'll be giving out this week, which includes a Hall of Famer's New York Jets jersey, some autographed merch, and all kinds of cool custom stuff from my personal vault, all you have to do is gift a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. If you gift one, you have a chance. It'll be a raffle. There will be one grand prize winner from everyone that submitted throughout the entire month, and we're going through January 1st at 12:15. We'll be doing a live show, a special live show at noon, and we'll be live for 15 minutes for everyone to get their final bids in to either be number one in our custom emoji contest or just to get their bids in to have a chance to win our grand prize raffle. By the way, quick update on that. We have a tie for first place. Jimmy Jets and our number one Austrian Jet fan both have 60 gifted memberships so far this month. We have Floor Lily and Big D with 53 gifted memberships, Travis Preheim with 51, Ed Vargas with 50, and then we have a bunch of other people in the mix. Chef Kevin Gilbert at 37, FL Phil 98 31, MFC 24, Devin DNY for Life 25, and then we also have Neil Sr. at 20. So anybody could get involved in the mix, and again, I highly recommend that everyone at least gives one membership. It's only $2.99, so might as well get a chance because, of course, there's always that chance that your raffle ticket is pulled. So, again, you guys have a few more days to be able to do that. J-Boy, 40-0 Rodgers. So, BG, you want to bring that back? It's a good question, J-Boy. And like I said, I've been very open with you guys that I've gone back and forth all year long on whether or not I've wanted Aaron Rodgers back. But based on the most recent reporting from NFL Network, and we have a story up on Heavy on Jets about this, but if there is an ultimatum, because apparently Garrett Wilson is so frustrated with Aaron Rodgers, although not everyone believes the report I'm about to say, so it's up to you guys if you want to believe this, but this was from NFL Network yesterday morning, that if the Jets bring back Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson could consider a trade request. That's how bad apparently the relationship got. It's something that blew up in training camp and has been quote-unquote simmering. These are words NFL Network used to discuss this. And if that's true, then it's an easy decision. I'm picking the 24-year-old. I'm picking Garrett Wilson. I'm not picking the 41-year-old quarterback that maybe has one more year left. So, no. I would not bring that back if that is true. And, you know, there's a lot to unlock about, or a lot to unpack, rather, about this, which we could get to. Hey now, look at that T-Town Jet baby gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. Another raffle ticket to the contest, baby. Very nice. Shout out to T-Town Jet. That is T-Town Jet's 7th gifted membership so far this month. That's 7 raffle tickets, baby. You're in the running. Let's roll, T-Town Jet. We see ya. By the way, that membership from T-Town Jet went to Daniel Diaz. Welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Very nice. Shout out to T-Town Jet for gifting you that very membership, baby. Love to see it. Make it rain. Paul Esden, my father, Hall of Fame quarterback, asking coach to bench him. Yes, that is true. We should play that footage because I never played that on the post-game show yesterday. But you noticed that Aaron Rodgers, okay, he was benched with 12 minutes and change remaining in the fourth quarter. A lot of people went, whoa, what happened there? Well, Aaron Rodgers revealed after the game he was the one who benched himself. I don't know. Anywho, let's go to the clip. Let's roll the footage on old Aaron Rodgers. I'm sure this is going to be well received. Yeah, here's Aaron Rodgers talking about the benching that occurred early in the fourth quarter. Let's roll the footage.
What was the conversation like with Jeff when he got out of the game? What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, it was 33-0. We were sitting there, and I said at some point, probably go to Tyrod here, huh? And then the next play, they threw a screen for a touchdown, so it's 48-0.
Wow, there you go. So Aaron Rodgers instigated his own benching. He was apparently talking up with Jeff Ulbrich on the sideline. It's 33-0 at the time. He looks at him and says, I'm going to go to Tyrod Taylor here. And the Bills scored another touchdown. It was 40-0. And then, boom, Tyrod Taylor came in. He had 2 drives. He had touchdowns on both drives. Again, it's fair to note, obviously, this was in the middle of a blowout. Those touchdowns, the Bills' backups were in. Some Jets' backups were in, outside of Tyrod Taylor, I guess. Tyrod coming in, and obviously had a couple of backup offensive tackles. And so consider all of that context in it. But, yeah, Aaron Rodgers benched himself. Okay. Yeah, that, Anthony Richardson with a tap of the helmet earlier this season for a play, for being tired. Aaron's like, yeah, I'm good. I thought he was going to really go for that 500 touchdown, but like I said, I guess not in the middle of that might have killed the vibes. It's 40-0. Aaron Rodgers gets that 500 touchdown. He has this weird celebration down 40-7. I'm sure he didn't want to put himself in that position, I guess. But yikes. Got Allen here saying Sauce is a malcontent. The sooner his ass is gone, the better. I don't agree with that. I like that Sauce has been trying to fight to get in there, but the coaching staff needs to stop putting him out there. He, again, left the game because of the hamstring. What the hell are we doing, people? We got so many guys that are fighting out there, which, again, I love the fight because we're talking to, the theme of this very video is Sauce calling out people who are not fighting, right? People that are apparently checked out. So, there's a fine line here, but, like, if someone's hurt, man, get them off the field. In Sauce's case, specifically here, he's been battling a hamstring. Now this hamstring continues to pop up. So let's clean that up. But no, to me, Sauce has been picking up his game. That's good to see. I'm excited for Sauce. I wanted to be a part of this future. Now, some of the additional commentary, Jared B. sent me this before the show. Apparently, Sauce Gardner, T. Higgins is on Instagram. Sauce Gardner responds to T. Higgins on Instagram, says, pay that man. And a Jet fan responds to him and says, ooh, you should recruit him to the Jets. And he says something to the effect of, nah, I'm good. And then people were like, oh, wow, look at Sauce. He doesn't want to bring people to the Jets. The culture must be bad or something. And Sauce tried to clarify his comments by saying, well, no, I don't want him here because we have Devante Adams and Garrett Wilson. Okay. That excuse checks out, right? So that one seems a little weird because you would have just said that in the moment. No, we're good. We already have too much talent. Coming back, it just doesn't feel good. But again, it's social media. What are you going to do? Greg Rallo, last chance to ruin Miami's year, people. It is true. Miami, technically, heading into the final week, is still alive for the final playoff spot. There's 2 playoff spots available. The NFC South, which the Falcons and Bucs are fighting for over in the NFC, and then the final wild card in the AFC, which is Cincinnati, Denver, and Miami. Those are the 3 battling it out. Now, here's the thing. For the people that are fighting for it, like Cincinnati and Miami, they need the Broncos to lose to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs have basically come out via Jay Glazer and said they're not playing anybody. So they're going to need an upset of epic proportions from the Chiefs' backups of Carson Wentz and company to even have a chance. So Miami's year, to be honest, may already be ruined. And here's the problem, Greg, that in theory that should be some sort of a rallying cry. Like, okay, Jets, our season's over, but boy, let's try to ruin Miami's. The Jets have shown none of that chutzpah this year. When the Jets' ass has been on the line, they've folded like a lawn chair. Remember, they had the 10-day break. They could have reignited their season. They went to Arizona, and they got battered, beaten, and smacked. And we were like, oh, so this season isn't happening. We're not getting some magical run of Aaron Rodgers telling us to relax, and something's about to happen. So there have been multiple moments where the Jets could have stood up, stood on business, as the kids say. And they did not. So I'm not anticipating any fight from this Jets team, but let's see what happens. Is it Tyron Huntley that's out there? They were able to beat Cleveland, but Cleveland's not very good. They had Dorian Thompson-Robinson at quarterback. So they were able to beat them because Tua had this hip injury that made him doubtful, and he ultimately didn't play. So we'll see. This Jets team should have, could have, would have beaten Miami a few weeks ago, but they didn't. That's for sure. Wild Wave says he's still mad about that T. Higgins post. Yeah, it doesn't feel like the excuse that he provided was legit. Felt like he was literally saying, I'm not bringing him to this shithole, which is unfortunate. Allen, how DJ Reed wasn't traded at the deadline is mind-boggling. It is true. That one is hard. Again, let me put this in a bucket here. I love DJ Reed. He's one of the best Jets free agent acquisitions we've ever had. That's wonderful. But it was painfully obvious that DJ Reed was not coming back here. And apparently the Washington Commanders called the Jets about DJ Reed, and the Jets said, not available. And I don't know if they said not available because they're like, we could go on a run, or what the reason was or the rationale was from Joe Douglas. But they could have flipped DJ Reed for a package of picks. Who knows what it would have been. The Saints got a nice package of picks for Marshawn Lattimore, but he's barely even played. He's missed 5 of the 8 games or something for the Commanders this year after being traded from the Saints. So the Jets could have gotten a nice package of picks. DJ Reed isn't coming back here. So, yeah, that's too bad. As my pop says, get your raffle tickets and Boy Green merch in the YouTube description down below. Feel free. Boy Green merch store, baby. Alan said, this team stinks, but what is worse is they are very unlikable. I've heard the Badlands group say that this current group is worse than 2016, and I'm not quite there. 2016 to me, after the 2015 year, which was so awesome, 2016 was awful. I hated Ryan Fitzpatrick. There was a lot of disconnectedness on the team. They were fighting, and Fitzpatrick was a super unlikable character. So I still think 2016 is worse. But to your point, the fact that it's even a conversation goes to show you where we're at. Not great. Selection New Year's Day. I can't wait for all the holidays. I'll be there with my pop. So we'll have a couple of live shows this week. Juan Wick. We won't be a good team next year either. Yeah, I mean, that's tough to say now, not knowing who your head coach and GM is going to be and what decision do they make. Do they do a full teardown or do they do a readjustment and get a veteran quarterback in here that they believe in, or what's going to happen? There's just so many impossible questions. It's hard to say whether they will or won't. I mean, they've been a bad team for 13 of the 14 years. 13 to 14 seasons, rather. And then the one season they were good in 10-6, 2015, they blew it in the regular season finale. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 3 picks in the fourth quarter. Disgusting, as the Jets' playoff hopes died. As they died. Easy. Basically, the team quit. This is as bad as it gets. This means coaching is that bad. Oh, yeah, the coaching's been awful. That's not been an issue. That's been an issue, excuse me, all year long, is how bad the coaching's been. Situational football, discipline issues. The Jets had the most penalties accepted against them in 6 years. Turnovers, no accountability. Michael Clemens doing that dumbass jumping on top of the pile, and then an easy penalty. I mean, what are we doing, man? Just stupid. Yeah, this has been a rough year in general, because here's a little stat. Let me read this off, because I saw this last night when I was looking up records and statistics and things of that nature. The Jets have lost 10-plus games in 8 of the last 9 seasons. Think about that for a second. Like Pittsburgh, with Mike Tomlin, they've never had a losing record. So they're like, whatever it is, 16, 17, 18 years of all this winning. The Jets in 8 of the last 9 seasons have had 10-plus losses, man. 10-plus losses. That's awful. Absolutely awful, unequivocal, just terrible. 8 of the last 9 seasons. That is a wild stat to say out loud. So it is. It's been rough. Hey, Schnitzel. Hey, now. Here's a positive. Greg the Leg is back from his injury, quote unquote. No missed kicks yesterday. They didn't attempt any field goals, but yes, he made both of his extra points. Again, that injury was total bullshit. I think we all know that. Obviously with your quotes, but yeah, Greg the Leg, you know, he should have been cut weeks ago, months ago. But the fact that he wasn't, it is what it is. We can't go back in the time machine now. So the best thing you can hope for your Jets fan is that Zerline recaptures his moxie and he's the kicker heading into next year. Now, some Jet fans are resigned to the fact that he's gone and a new regime will come in, and get rid of his ass. But, we'll see. We'll see. But that would be the hope, I guess, from the Zerline perspective, is that he kicks a couple of field goals in this Dolphins game. You're like, okay, he's back. And then he resets during the offseason as your kicker next year. But again, some Jet fans are not going to want that. Wow, if Jets quit, Miami motivated could get ugly next week. Certainly, it could. Again, if it's Tyron Huntley, if Snoop Huntley, as they call him, if he's at quarterback, I think it limits the chance to get ugly, unless the offense is just imploding, throwing pick sixes left and right. Huntley stinks as a quarterback. But maybe there's a chance. Again, if the Jets quit, then sure. That's certainly possible. All right, let me keep going on the comments here. Let's keep it rolling. Juan Wick. What did Devante do for us? I want my pick back. I'd push back on that one. Devante's been pretty good here with the Jets. He had the Houston game where he had the game-winning touchdown down the right hash. He had the 200-yard game against Jacksonville. Now, you can hate watch or hate whatever Devante for making Garrett Wilson basically from number 1 wide receiver to number 2 wide receiver and everything that's happened there. I mean, you can hate that and the ripple effects it's had with the Aaron Rodgers relationship and everything else. But, yeah, I mean, he's put up some numbers. There's no question. And he has a chance to get to 1,000 yards. He's like 25 yards receiving away, which I'm sure he'll get in the regular season finale too. So, yeah, Devante's been good. I just wish Aaron wouldn't force him the ball on all these plays. The target share over the last couple of games between Devante and Garrett is incredibly stark. It's a big difference. Again, I'm fine having 2 really good receivers. I don't think Garrett Wilson is or should be opposed to having another really good receiver opposite of him. But this weird man love that exists between Devante and Aaron has had some negative ripple effects. Number 1 Austrian Jet fan here. Most of all, clean out the coaching staff. Check the conditions, coaches, the bag boys, room cleaners, question everything. Yeah, it needs to be a clean sweep. Clean everything out, light it all on fire, and hopefully we could get a competent coach. That's my fingers crossed. Is that, again, I bring up Adam Gase in 2019. First off, when Todd Bowles was let go, I immediately came to the podcast universe and said, please, Jet, just hire anyone not named Adam Gase. I just feel terrible about Adam Gase. The podcast still exists out there in the universe. I'm sure you can go find it. And, it did not work out. But I felt no positivity as a positive, optimistic guy when Gase was hired. So, we need someone that hopefully, I guess we don't need it. They don't care what the fans think, but I would just like someone I can feel confident in. Like Vrabel, I'd be like, yeah, here we go. Or, again, I've been a Todd Monken guy for a while, but I've heard no noise on him. But, an offensive guy coming in, yeah. I'd want some excitement. I'd want some juice for whoever gets hired, and hopefully that can give us some optimism in the middle of this very important offseason for the New York Jets, which should set the tone for the foreseeable future. So, both head coach and GM hire. J-Boy has an opposite idea. So Easy said, no one should go to the Jets-Dolphins game next week. Show Woody how you feel. J-Boy says, hey, what about this? As Jet fans, we must pack MetLife and sing to Rodgers and friends, na 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 na, na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye. Could be that could be a strategy. I respect it, J-Boy. R&R says, get rid of the Aaron Rodgers dirt pile. Oof. Rodgers quit on the team, J-Boy says. I mean, again, tapping the helmet was, Aaron quit on the team. There's more from Wild Wave. It's true. Adam Horvath says he is down 40-0. It's the right move. Can't bitch and say he's selfish and wants his 500 touchdown. Although, like I said, we had the questionable business decision on the loose fumble that was hanging out there. Again, some people say, hey, he's 40 years old. He's a Hall of Famer. He doesn't have to dive on that ball, but okay. J-Boy says, I hope Rodgers never gets 5. He has to. I would imagine. I'd be stunned. I'd be flabbergasted if he doesn't get it against Miami. Juan Wick, trade Sauce before his value goes down anymore. Pushback. I'm not trading Sauce at all coming off a bad year. His value would be incredibly low, and it's going to get higher. Sauce is going to bounce back. He's not Fugazi. The first 2 years were not fake. He was a first-team All-Pro. He wasn't, like, good, and then people figured him out, and he's terrible. I'm not trading Sauce. Absolutely not. No way. I'm not trading Sauce. Of our core four, absolutely not. I am not trading Sauce coming off a bad year. Alan says, by the way, the next job, number 72, will be a crash test dummy. Yeah, Michael Clemens. Ugh. That was rough. It's been rough, unfortunately, for Michael. I like Michael a lot. I got to meet him at the Jets-Browns Hall of Fame game in the locker room. Really nice guy. But unfortunately, it is what it is, man. It has been a tough watch for Michael. Matthias says, how are we still talking about this block of a team? What can we find to talk about, and how come we have to listen to Alan? That's a good point. I don't know. I don't normally do bounties on my show. I guess that's why. Let's see. That was interesting. Let's throw it to Taylor Sterling here. Sauce had to stop himself from asking for a trade in his postgame presser. I don't think it was asking for a trade, but he was talking about all the uncertainty of, man, coaches could be gone, players could be gone, and he went to say, I could be gone. But I don't think it was like him requesting a trade. I think it's just the uncertainty of everyone could get traded or could be gone. I don't think it was asking for a trade like he wants out. I think there's just an uncertain future. That was my take on it. That's what I thought he was going to try to say, which was interesting. He did twice. He did twice indicate that, like, hey, man, I could be, well, I won't say it. So, yeah, I don't think it was requesting a trade, but I think it was just that he could be gone. Jared B. Paul, where are we picking as of now? So some bad news happened after our show yesterday, unfortunately. The Jets currently pick 7th overall in the first round, according to the 2025 NFL draft order. And here's the dealio, people. The strength of schedule tiebreaker, the Jets. So there's a bunch of 4-12 teams. There's 4-12 teams all the way from 5th overall in the draft all the way through 9th overall. The good news is the Jets are in the middle, so they're not on the bottom. Their strength of schedule, there's such a stark difference between them and the Raiders and the Bears that the Jets will pick in front. If they all have the same record, the Jets will pick in front of the Raiders and the Bears. That's good news. The bad news is the Jaguars are so far ahead of them in strength of schedule, it seems hard to believe that the Jets could catch up that difference. So if the Jaguars and Jets have the same record, the Jaguars will pick ahead of them. Where it's more a coin toss is Carolina. Carolina currently has a 6th overall pick. Their strength of schedule is 496. The Jets is 502. That's something that could flip with the final week of the season as those final results come in. So, again, shout out to Michael Nania and Jets X Factor. They know how to calculate all that's above my pay grade. I'm an idiot with math. But they know how to root for the right things where that strength of schedule flips. So, it's a coin flip, whether if the Jets and Panthers finish with the same record as the Panthers draft ahead of them or not. But here's the other good news if you're a Jet fan and you're rooting for the tank. So beyond the 4-12 teams I just talked about, there's 2 teams ahead of them, Jacksonville and Carolina. Carolina's a coin flip. If they just both lose, there's a chance Jets could pick ahead of them, but it's all on strength of schedule. Jacksonville, if they have the same record, they won't. But the 3 teams there's 4 teams in the 3-win category. That's New England, Tennessee, Cleveland, and the Giants. 3 of those 4 teams have a better strength of schedule than the Jets, which means the Jets could leapfrog them. If the Jets have the same record as Tennessee, Cleveland, or the Giants, the Jets would pick ahead of all of them. The only team they wouldn't is New England. So, long story short, people, the Jets have a path to get to a top 5 pick. Absolutely have a path to get to a top 5 pick. Now, people will then go backward and say, oh, man, Paul, if we didn't win this stupid Jacksonville game and this stupid game, we'd be picking insert. And that is true. Jacksonville, of course, will be behind you because they beat you. And then you would be currently picking second overall. So sorry, Jet fans. If the Jets would have lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars, they would have the second overall pick right now behind the New England Patriots. That is true. I have to give the truth. And that is the God honest truth. I'm so sorry. That is true. Yeah, DJ Reader's getting tossed around out there. Not great. The Key is on the Tyrod Taylor train. Ty God, baby. Here we go. Hey, he's on the roster next year. At minimum, he's going to be the backup quarterback, if not more. If not more. Also, for those curious, Jets Dolphins, they announced this on Sunday Night Football last night. 4:25 kickoff next week. 4:25 kickoff. And for the very first time, we're going to do a watch party here on the show. I'm normally not live at the same time as the game. I like watching the game myself. But you know what? Let's try something different. So I'll have Jets Dolphins in front of me, and we'll be live reacting to it. There'll be a scoreboard here on the screen so we can keep track of all the chutzpah, and we can all join each other. You can call in and all kinds of wonderful stuff. So that'll be happening next week. We'll all get to watch the game together, people. Phil says the Pats will now get that star wide receiver to pair with their quarterback. Yeah, my gut would say Travis Hunter, to be honest with you, or a massive trade back to get a haul of picks. I could definitely see that from New England. Go to the quarterback needy team. Tennessee is quarterback needy. Cleveland could be quarterback needy. Giants could be quarterback needy. Vegas, there's a lot of desperate teams. I think the Patriots could get a haul, or Travis Hunter, who I believe the more we talk about it, I think he's going to be a corner at the next level with some spot time receiver help. So I don't know if they're going to get that superstar receiver. We'll see, Phil. There's a lot of time to go. Let's see. Christopher Cancel. Boy Green, you're one of the commentators who's supposed to have the answers. Also, be careful with the cuss words. There could be children watching, just saying. Christopher Cancel's about to cancel Boy Green. Good Lord. I don't know if that's my job is to have answers. I try to give you guys my take and things of that nature. The answer I give my possible answers. Like I said, my number one coach I would go after is Todd Monken. My number two coach would be Mike Vrabel. And my number three coach would be Ben Johnson. I'm intrigued by Ben Johnson as a creative play caller. There's a chance it could totally flame out. He's never been a head coach before, and he seems to be a very quirky guy that has had some weird demands during these head coaching cycles and would make you go why do you have demands, buddy? Who the hell are you? So there's a little bit of that there. Todd Monken's never been a coach, but I like that he's been an offense coordinator in 6 different places with all kinds of different quarterbacks and has had success. And obviously Vrabel's done it before. So those are my answers. We'll see if they listen to him. At GM, I like Thomas Dimitroff. I like Brian Gain of the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, there's a couple of options that I like at GM. We'll see how they all pair together. And, I normally don't curse. My whole thing is I get this question all the time. Paul, why are you gosh darn bananas or what the heck or what the hoot or any of these things? It's because in radio, 10 years ago when I officially got into radio, my radio partner, Jim the man-child Lurch, he told me, as you learn in school, I learned this in school, there are words you can't say on the radio that are pretty obvious to everybody. On terrestrial radio that you can't say. I could say it here, it's digital, but, and he said, there's a couple of things you can do with that. You could just not say them, obviously, so you don't get fired, but you can be so goofy with them that you can make fun of the fact that you can't say them. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, instead of what the hell, what the hockey stick or something. Like you could be so goofy that people know what you're saying, but you're saying a different word. And that seed was planted into me 10 years ago. So now I say what the hoot or what the gosh darn or what the hey. And now it's pre-programmed. I'm not pressing buttons like an action figure that I'm going to be spitting out these phrases, but that's the truth about Boy Green and all the crazy vernacular. Those words is because of my radio partner saying that should be something you make fun of. And I just went to task of training and learning in that way to be better on the radio. And that's it. A lot of people hate that, but that's the true origin story there. It's a good point. Easy says, I think we would have gotten 8-9 with Saleh. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of revisionist history with Saleh. So the Jets are 4-12 right now. Maybe the Jets are 6-10 with Saleh. Maybe. Maybe there's 2 more. But to be honest, it just would have delayed the inevitable. It just would have had the Jets with a slightly worse pick, and that's it. This team was destined to be fucked. Excuse my Guatemalan. Sorry, whoever. Sorry, cancel for that. But, like, this team was destined to just be boned, man. There was just too many fractures and things that we didn't see beneath the surface that had all of this as trash. So, no, I don't think there's some magic flip with Saleh where we're an 8 or 9 win team. I don't buy that at all. Again, the real issue is that Woody obviously wasn't committed to Saleh fully, firing him after the Week 5 result. And if he was that not invested, that's not a smooth way to say that, but if he was not enough invested into Saleh, he should have just cut the cord in the offseason, because there was the Athletic report that came out in the January-ish time frame, right around the Senior Bowl stuff where the Jets coaches were there, and they should have just pulled the trigger after that event. It would have been a little late in the game, but you just pull the trigger and move on. And that's what they should have done. Instead of being half committed, coming into the season, then firing him after Week 5, and then the season was boned, and then you just blew this entire season. That's where the real issue occurred. To be candid. That's the truth. So, no, I don't think there's some magical turnaround if Saleh sticks around. Couple wins, sure. I could see that because the coaching staff has been disastrous. But, yeah. Michael Clemens, yeah, that's it's Michael Superfly Clemens. You guys have some good ones here. Jump on the pony. Okay. Yeah, things have been going wrong for this team. We need someone to come out the other side. Molon. Let's talk about the embarrassing walkout with the boombox. How did Olbrich allow that nonsense backwards organization? Yeah, again, someone tagged me in that, said, Paul, look at this dumb team. And I'm like, I don't have any problem with it. I thought at first people were saying they were playing a boombox going into the locker room after the loss. That would be stupid and embarrassing. But walking out with the boombox as part of your pregame introductions, I'm fine with that. And maybe the counter, I assume the displeased nature with fans is, hey, pal, you're 4-11. Maybe that was, I don't know what the clapback on that was, but I saw it was making waves. I don't know why it was making waves. Yeah, the Jets had a boombox playing Gangsta's Paradise coming out to the field. Okay. They can motivate themselves however they want. Again, if they were playing that boombox going to the locker room, that would be stupid and tone deaf and everything else. That'd be silly. But I have no problem with the boombox happening toward the field, Molon. I have zero issue with that. It's football. You guys can have fun. It's totally fine. Steve232. What's the best and worst draft position the Jets could get? It is this. The best draft position they can get, if everything breaks their way, is they can have... I mean, the absolute best I could have is somehow the second overall pick. Now, all of those teams winning ahead of them seems somewhat unlikely, but let me pull up the scorecard here of Week 18, and let's see if we can play this game out together here. Okay, so let's go. So New England, again, if the Jets and New England have the same record, New England would pick ahead of them, so they're irrelevant, so let's keep New England there. Let's see who Tennessee has. Tennessee plays the Texans. The Tennessee Titans could completely beat the Texans. So and by the way, the Titans are favored. They're a 4.5-point favorite as it currently stands against the Houston Texans at home. So the Titans could totally win. The Jets would bump up a pick. Okay, now let's go to Cleveland. Who the hell does Cleveland have? The Browns play. One moment here. Oh yeah, they have the AFC North Saturday games. The Browns play the Ravens. Seems unlikely. The Ravens are probably, I don't know if that's official, but they're probably locked into the 3 seed. The Ravens are an 18-point favorite. Good Lord. The Ravens backups might be able to beat Cleveland. So it's unlikely that Cleveland wins, but maybe, because I don't think Baltimore really has much to play for there in that specific scenario, especially since they beat the Texans. So actually, let me look at the playoff picture real quick. We'll figure all this out together. Let's go. Playoff picture. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm pretty sure the Ravens are locked into the 3 seed because the Bills are certainly locked into the 2 seed. See the NFL.com. And yes, the Ravens appear to be locked in as the 3 seed here. And they are. Yeah, so the Ravens are locked in as the 3 seed. So they have nothing to play for. So they could just choose to bench. They can't move up. They can't move down. They're too separated. Houston is locked in as the 4 seed. So Baltimore has nothing to play for. So maybe Cleveland can upset them. If they can upset them, that would push the Jets up another pick. Let's look at the Giants. Well, we already know the Giants play the Eagles, and the Eagles may not play anybody, which means the Giants could win that game. The Jets would leapfrog them as well. So the Jets could leapfrog Tennessee. The Jets could leapfrog Cleveland. The Jets could leapfrog the Giants, of course. We'll see if Saquon Barkley goes for the all-time rushing record, which, by the way, salute. As a former running back, I love running back history. Saquon Barkley joining the 2,000 yards rushing club. It's awesome. It's so cool. It's so cool. And the chance that he has, I think it's 105, 106 yards, whatever it is, to beat the all-time Eric Dickerson single-season rushing record from 1984. Super cool, and I hope he chases it. But probably not. The Eagles are locked up, and they can't move down or up. They're the 2 seed. So, yeah, there's a chance that the Giants could win, so the Jets could leapfrog them. Now we go down to Jacksonville and Carolina. Carolina plays Atlanta. Atlanta's in an absolute must-win scenario to have any chance of the playoffs. And the other game, which is Tampa Bay, is at the same time. So they won't know. So I'm going to put my money on the Falcons. Unfortunately, so the Jets will have to see what happens with strength of schedule to see if they leapfrog them. So long story short, the Jets could get as high as the number 2 overall pick. That's a long and short way of saying it. They could get all the way up to the number 2 overall pick, and it's not as crazy to think that a lot of those can happen. Again, the unlikely one is Cleveland with Baltimore, even though they have nothing to play for. Just because you have nothing to play for doesn't mean you automatically beat the team that doesn't. You know what I mean? So that one's up in the air, and then we have to see strength of schedule in Carolina. Long story short, though, I could easily see a path to a top 5 pick. Let's see if that happens. Let's see. Alan says he wants one of Graham, Johnson, or Carter. A loss against the Fish would greatly enhance that happening. So, there you go. Could be even better. Taylor Sterling. Fortunate Devante. Garrett got his equal in this game. This was a blowout loss. We're talking about the last bunch of games, not just now. And it's almost like the people that believe Garrett Wilson's conversation is stupid or like, hey, man, what are you even talking about? I think a lot of people that are arguing that are then pointing to games like this saying, see, look, it's equal. And it's not equal. It's about the quality of targets. I think that's another piece of the puzzle here, Taylor, that enough people aren't giving the proper love to. Let me catch up. I know I'm really behind on comments here, so let me get back. And by the way, friggin' Gerard Mayo keeps saying stupid things to the media. Boy, that guy is going to mess around and get fired, which would not be good for the Jets because he could the Patriots have a ton of cap space. They have Drake May, and the roster is shit, but still, they might be able to attract a very, very attractive candidate for head coach. So, yeah, that could be an issue. Yeah, shout out to Sam Darnold. That was really cool to see in the locker room. FL Phil 98. I realize we have not been able to find competent coaching for years, but a competent coaching staff GM can turn this around very quickly, and you see it all the time. Coaching staffs come in and have an immediate turnaround impact. 100%. It could totally happen. So, yeah, absolute love sent over there. There we go. We got a YouTube Super Chat. Every time we get a YouTube Super Chat shout out here, we hear from my daughter, Zoraya Luna. Wow. Big Islander fan. He's been a member for 3 months. Shout out to you, buddy. Last week, we all wanted Rodgers back. Now he's a bum. Yeah, it's funny how it keeps flipping around. Like I said, it's been like a SpongeBob flopping like a fish on the deck or deck on the fish or whatever the hell that SpongeBob line is. That's what it is. Either key. Who's been our best coach? Like best coach just on the, I'd say, well, you can't say Aaron Wycott. The defensive line's been awful. It's hard to say Tony Oden because of all the safety issues and corner issues. Unless you're talking about who's been our best Jets head coach in recent times, that would obviously be Rex. Yikes, it's not Keith Carter. I was going to say Tony Dews at running back, but I don't know. That's a good question. Boy, it's tough to answer on a 4-win team, that's for sure. Yeah. Let's see. Wow, Wave. How the hell did the offense look better with Tyrod than with Aaron? That's going to give some steam to the Tyrod Taylor people. Now, again, it was against Bill's backups, but they didn't seem very engaged. I do not. Wow, Wave. Why the hell was that game at 4:25? No idea. Zero idea. But yes, Vikings Lions Sunday night, epic. Winner, number 1 seed, bye. Home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Loser, 5 seed, which is like a 13-14 win team that's traveling to play a wild card team. Oh, my God. Which, by the way, I still say that if you win your division, you deserve a home playoff game. I don't care who the record is going against you, but this one is going to be quite trying. Unbelievable. We're going to have a 14-win, probably, traveling wild card team. That is wild. Let's keep going through the comments. We'll also open up the phone lines here in a little bit. Let's see. Tyrod was able to show some legs and mix around. And again, I don't want to go. I don't want to go too far on my analysis of Tyrod Taylor in a blowout loss here. But okay, we'll skip ahead here. Go down the comment section, baby. Here we go. We got a YouTube super chat coming in. Let's go to Zariah Luna.
Wow.
Backwards aren't cool. Aaron Rodgers reminds me of tapioca. Outdated. Ooh. Hey now. Ooh. Sounds about right, unfortunately. It's been a tough watch this year. It's been a tough watch. There it is. Danny, real life. Baltimore playing for the division with Pittsburgh. Yeah, let me see. What's Pittsburgh at here? Yeah, we got 11-5, 10-6. Yeah, there you go. So playing for the division. Okay. Just still, there you go. That's the answer to your question. Thank you, Danny. Okay. And I loved Michael Penix coming out of the draft last year. Let's see here. Yes, Jimmy Jets, baby, with a 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Let's liven up the party. Yeah, baby. Let's add those to your total here, Jimmy Jets. And you are now back in sole possession of first place, my friend, with 65 gifted memberships so far this month. Move over, Austrian Jet fan. You're in second place in our contest now with 60, which we love to see from our boy, Jimmy Jets, baby, who takes the crown at this current moment in time, with still a few more days left to decide this whole shish kebab. By the way, here are the 5 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Shout out to Sean Wilson, Weeboo9469, TriStar Jet, Phenom. We haven't heard from Phenom in a while, and TJ. You guys are all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club, and shout out to our boy Jimmy Jets, baby, for gifting from the high heavens. Let it rain, baby. Let it rain. That is 5 more raffle tickets as well. So not only in first place of the emoji contest, but 65 raffle tickets for our end-of-year grand prize giveaway, which, of course, gives him the best odds to be able to friggin' win this thing. That's for sure. All right, without further ado, let's do this. Let's open up the phone lines so we can react to all this hoopla. We got nearly 500 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe, baby. And like I said, all the information's in the scrolling ticker. If you'd like to buy a raffle ticket, it's only $2.99 per. You guys can also use super chats if you can't gift memberships. I know that's a problem for a lot of people. The other option is PayPal Venmo. That is at BoyGreen25, BOY, green the color, GREEN25. You guys can do it that way. Super chats, memberships, anything of that nature to get your raffle tickets in. Send it in. If you do send it on PayPal or Venmo, just please put in a note that it's for the Boy Green Coffee Club so we can put it there appropriately. Quick hep song, and we'll open up the phone lines next right here on a Monday edition of Boy Green Daily.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking just football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Viking Daily, the New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams, watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green, J-E-T-S, Jets.
So much hope earlier in the season when Hep strummed that guitar and sang those lyrics. Super Bowl season with Boy Green. Great times. Maybe next year, as our guy FL Phil 98 once said, which we have that available too, where there's always next year.
Well, we're sitting here where we've been sitting before, wondering why we keep taking more. And if you know why, won't you please share the reason with me? We start every season full of anticipation, hoping it don't end in frustration, but the football gods just won't ever let us be. We are the fans of a team called the New York Jets, and being one of them leaves you full of regret, and we ain't been happy since we won frickin' Super Bowl III. We need change. Now that folks have been fired, we need change. Someone to get us inspired, and pray they'll turn it around just as quick as can be. So here's to next year, let's believe we can win. Here's to next year, start all over again. Let's keep smiling, 'cause you know there's always next year. Yeah, keep on smiling, 'cause you know there's always next year.
There's always next year, folks, and that is what we will hopefully inspire us in the light at the end of the proverbial tunnel. Anywho, thanks to FL Phil 98 and the Sweet Pipes. Let's go back to the phone lines, baby. We got EZ joining us here on the show. Good morning, EZ.
There's no tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in.
Yeah,
no,
I
think we should treat MetLife Stadium like it's Chernobyl and stay the hell away.
Oh,
just
there you
treat
go.
it like it's radioactive. I mean, I understand wanting to go there and doing the na thing and stuff, but why let Woody make 1 red cent off the product that he put on this field? Jeff Ulbrich should be the first ever in NFL history interim coach fired after the full-time coach was fired. He should be. Yeah. He's that lost. He's that. You remember what I had told you months ago who should have been the interim head coach, remember?
Yeah. Weren't you a guy that was on the Ron Middleton train?
Ron Middleton. They should have left Ulbrich's over his head. Middleton was the interim coach when there was an absentee. He won.
For Saleh. That was the COVID game against the Jaguars. Correct.
He won. The players love him.
Yeah.
And he's a hard ass. Hit him. If you don't know whether he is, hit him anyway. Just boom. Yeah, I love that guy.
He's got the great line, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Let's go, boys.
That's
and I'm
right.
like, okay, hey now. Yeah.
Ron Middleton should have been the interim coach. They should have left Ulbrich as the defensive coordinator. And let's not forget, first year with this regime, with Ulbrich and Saleh, the defense sucked. Saleh had to literally take over. And then it became a great defense again.
Well, he had to beg Woody to not fire Ulbrich because that's what he wanted to do. Ulbrich was so bad that first year that there was a lot of pressure on Saleh to flip his defense coordinator. He said stick by him, and it ended up working out because obviously Ulbrich and the defense looked really good for the following couple years until this year, unfortunately.
How do you know it was Ulbrich?
He was the defense coordinator, doesn't call the plays. Saleh didn't call the plays.
How do you know?
Well, he said he didn't, really and Ulbrich was on the side. I don't know. I have to take them at their word, I guess. But why would they lie about that?
Well, maybe the fact that Saleh was just more involved.
Well, sure. That I can't say. I can't say whether or not Saleh on a week-to-week basis was in those defensive rooms and setting up the entire game plan, and then Ulbrich was the pencil pusher on game day. Yeah, if that's true, I don't know. I can't confirm or deny that. But just in terms of the straight-up calling plays, Saleh announced at his introductory press conference that he did not want to call plays. So he wanted to hire somebody to do that, and that ended up being Ulbrich.
And I get that.
So
I think I think the gig that he took in Green Bay with his buddy,
sure,
and him concentrating more on offense, I know exactly what that's for. That's so that when Saleh gets another crack at the whip, he's going to have a lot more offensive prowess, and he'll be able to be a better head coach. Because I think Saleh is going to come back eventually as a head coach.
Yeah,
maybe he just quite wasn't ready. But the fact that his who's the LaFleur, his best buddy over there, he's actually as a defensive. I think what he said was he is like in on the offense, and when he's in on the offense, he's sitting there telling the offense, "Well, based on what you're doing, this is what I would do." To combat that, so he's actually learning both sides of the chessboard right now. And look, Green Bay's gotten better. They were in a little bit of trouble last year, and they're much better this year.
Yeah, they went to not the NFC Championship. It was the NFC Divisional that they looked really good in. Jordan Love threw that horrible across-the-field pass, Brett Favre-like, that lost in that game. And this year they're in the playoffs, so they have another chance to make another run. So
I still think that I think they're playing in Detroit next week, Minnesota, right? Is
Minnesota,
that a Detroit home game?
Yeah, that one, let me double-check to make sure.
I think it's a Detroit home game.
Let me make sure. I think you're right. And it is. Yep, Sunday Night Football. That's the final regular season game of the season. Yep.
Could you just imagine if Darnold went 15-2? There is no way. There's not even there's not even an alternative universe where they get rid of Darnold if he goes 15, even 14-3. They're not getting rid of Darnold.
I haven't at the station.
They're not going to do it.
I have to go check the filing cabinet at the station. But before the year, we made NFL predictions, and I have the Vikings and Jets in the Super Bowl because I said Sam Darnold was going to have an awesome year. And hopefully I could get that and post that out on Discord and everything else because that was my greatest take of all time. So I need the Vikings to continue this amazing run. The Jets, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to make it. But the Vikings, yes, that'd be great.
Once again, everybody, treat MetLife like it's radioactive. Stay away. Don't let them make money on parking. Don't let them make money on coffee. Don't let them make money on beer. Don't let them make money on food. Don't let them sell hats or jerseys, jackets, coats, socks, hoodies, warmers, whatever. Don't go there.
But there will be people there.
I know, but just why go there and suffer the slings and arrows of possible inclement weather to watch them get their asses kicked by a shitty Dolphin team?
I don't know. I guess that's what being a fan's all about. Being there when they're good, bad, and
I'm a fan, but I'm not an idiot. I don't go to the sports bar to watch my team lose and drop $30 on lunch.
Well,
I watched it on NFL Network and simulcasted it to my TV because it was a national broadcast, except in North Carolina because they had the Panther game on.
Oh, now that's.
Since it was the national broadcast, NFL Network had it as one of their premium games that you could actually watch.
Oh, that's cool.
So I watched it on my TV, my nice 65-inch Samsung, of course.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
Yeah, but you only get like a 50-inch screen when they do it on the simulcast. It only blows up to about 50 inches.
Oh, wow.
But still, better than going all the way to the bar and watching them lose and listening to all my buddy Jet fans just flipping out and stuff.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we get a good game, whether people go live or not. Hopefully it's a fun end to the season, but it probably won't be. But
I just think the image of a USFL crowd at MetLife Stadium would be epic. That would send the biggest message that Woody Johnson's ever seen in his life.
We'll see if people follow through on your request, Easy. We'll see.
Save your money. If you got to watch, first off, the people that can go to the game, they're going to be able to watch it on TV. Stay in your house. Get a 6-pack of beer, get some nachos and chili, just sit back, watch the game, put on Red Zone, flip through, watch real teams play football. Like I watched that game last night between the Falcons and the Commanders.
Yes,
that was a great game. Oh my, it was so much fun to watch. It was good to see competent play calling.
Sure.
And not only that, competent execution of the plays. I mean, there were penalties and mistakes made and this and that, but I mean, for the most part, that was a very entertaining, professionally played and coached football game. Why can't we have that as fans? That's all I ask.
One day.
You can win, you can lose. You can have a 500 season or an 8-9 season or a 9-8 season, but I mean, we're not even. Yeah, they gave up yesterday. Yesterday was a give up. The week before we tried to beat the Rams. We just couldn't do it. But yesterday they just gave up. And I don't think it's that the Bills are that great. I mean, they're good, but we had their number. So the fact that we didn't even play it close, they checked out.
It seems that way.
And what the hell was that Bugs Bunny thing with fucking Michael Clemens? Dog pile on the rabbit, dog pile on the rabbit, dog pile on the rabbit. That was just
stupid. That's an automatic penalty, and it obviously was. It was just stupid.
I'm just saying to myself, why did he not get benched for that alone?
That I don't know. That should be an accountability thing. I would think if someone does something stupid like that, it's not the first time someone's done something like he has done something like that. So, yeah, that's
he does that like 50% of the season. He does something stupid in a game. 50% of the games he does something dumb. And I liked Michael Clemens, but God, man, you gotta think.
Yeah, you got to think, Michael. You got to think. Get your head in the game, pal. And salute to Bugs Bunny. Salute to Bugs Bunny. And Jet says we have 130 people watching, 49 likes. We actually have 438 people watching across all our social media platforms. So hop on over to youtube.com/boygreen25 and like the video, baby. Keep showing your support. By the way, I see the conversation happened between Allen and FLFil98. Again, I'm not for reseeding. I like if you win your division that you get a home playoff game, but different strokes, different folks. I just feel like you earn your way. Divisions are good, bad, and they rise and fall. And sometimes we get a 7-9 Seahawks team, Beastquake, Marshawn Lynch, Seahawks Saints. Sometimes your division's good. Sometimes your division is bad, and you benefit in good and bad years. That's what I'd say. But a lot of people did not seem happy with Easy's take of commanding people to stay home and don't spend your money. PPG on Twitter says, never tell season ticket holders what to do with their money. If they want to go, they should go. They paid the money. It's not yours. Nobody told you what to do with your money. Well, there you go. People a little colorful with being bossed around. But we'll see, I guess. Like I said, if I had tickets, I was there, I would go. I'm a Jet fan. Of course I'm going to go. Why wouldn't I go? I don't know. Different strokes. Let's go back to the phone line. We got our guy Hep here on the show. What's up, Hep? Good morning.
Hey, Paul. Hey, everybody. Hey, fellas. I was thinking about this. We're picking like 6th now, right?
I have it right here. We're 7th right now, currently. Carolina flipped back in front of us because of strength of schedule.
Oh, okay. I'm still thinking about this JJ McCarthy. If he came out this season, would he be rated as the number 1 quarterback?
That's what draft experts have told me. Yes.
So I'm thinking, like, I think that Darnold's going to be re-signed.
How could he not be? I mean,
exactly.
Unbelievable.
And if the Vikings were smart, they would go all in for the next year to make their push.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that if we give up our number 1 for JJ McCarthy, would they go for that?
If they don't go for that, I think they'd be bonkers because they, in theory, would have their Sam Darnold, who they'd sign to a long-term deal, and then they'd have a top 10 pick to go get another immediate piece. I'm not sure if I'm willing to give up the top 10 pick, but to your point, your rationale makes sense, Hep. If he would be the number 1 quarterback in this class, and you have the pick that you have as a top 10 pick in the draft, and you could then get, in theory, the best quarterback available, why wouldn't you? I would try to start lower and see. Maybe push comes to shove, I would do it, but I would try to get the first-round pick swap, and maybe I get no other pick beyond that. I just get the first-round pick swap. I go to the back end. I go to pick 32, 31, and they get top 10 pick. But I would try everything in my power to try to see if we could do some swap-a-rooney so it's not straight up because you did lose a rookie year of J.J. McCarthy control. I think it's good because he sat back and learned, so I see the positive with it. But I would try to see if we could get him for a little bit lower. But it would be compelling. I think the Vikings would take that deal if the Jets offered the straight-up first overall pick. But as Nate is saying in here, he jumped into the comment section. Why give up the 7th overall pick for last year's 10th overall pick who had 2 surgeries and last year of his rookie deal? So that's why I wouldn't give it straight up. But, man, he's a very talented kid that I'm very intrigued by.
Thanks, Paul. See you guys on the rebound.
Yep. Thanks, Hep. Appreciate the call, brother. Again, I still, we talked about it a week or two ago. Whenever we talked about the J.J. McCarthy thing, go watch a video, and there's an article with it if you guys want to see the take. I am very intrigued by that possibility. Again, me personally, I would not give up a straight-up top 10 pick for J.J. for all the reasons that Nate mentioned. But, again, a first-round pick swap, that'd be kind of curious. Or if there's another combination of something we can do, I'd be interested in. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We've got a lot of callers. Up next, we've got a.k.a. long-suffering, the one and only Neil. gracing us with his presence. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, Paul. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Hey, are you following EZ? Are you not showing up to Jets Dolphins next week?
Well, I just listed my tickets, my season tickets, hoping there's a desperate Miami fan.
There you go.
Miami's still in it, so
That's right.
They do show up, so to make a bigger statement against Woody, it would be apropos if there were like 70% Miami fans there.
I think you're right. As opposed to zero fans, more Dolphins than that. That's the insulting
Right, that'd be a bigger indictment than not showing up at all.
Correct. I agree. Yes. Because someone's going to go,
Look, I've been going to MetLife a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The game experience, there's nothing like it. I mean, it's like going to the Roman Coliseum. It's just that we just have really, it's just been totally disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
And,
very.
It's we could all talk about Woody. We all could talk about Aaron Rodgers. We could talk about this, that, and the other thing. The reality is this. There's a lot of players on this team that are not NFL starters. All right. And I don't know where Ed Ziff's saying that he likes Michael Clemens, because he might be the only guy that likes Michael Clemens. Because to me, I can't see him. He can't be gone fast enough. He should go back to bouncing at a strip club, because that's where I see him, with his big club in his hands and no shirt, shirtless.
Oh, yeah. He likes doing that. Yeah.
Every time I see him on the field, you hold your breath that he's not going to get a personal foul, because he's always in the middle of a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really nice, and really you could do a lot of damage when everybody has helmets and pads on. He can't beat me up with helmets and pads on. So I'm not really that. I don't think he really puts fear into anybody's mind, especially when an offensive lineman blocks him and he crumbles like a box of can. He stinks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's so many guys. The really blaring thing yesterday that stuck out to me is when Moses went down, Carter Warren comes in, doesn't even know how to block a guy on a screen, lets a guy come in and block it. On the other side, 61. I don't even. These
Max
guys,
Mitchell. Yeah.
Max Mitchell. Oh my God. I mean,
yeah.
What do you want Aaron Rodgers to do? I mean, when you're staring at a guy, it's in your head, in your face 3 times. Now, this is on the play calling, because if you have 2 deficient tackles in, wouldn't it make sense to add 2 tight ends, even though our tight ends don't block either?
Mm-hmm.
But at least line up. If you have 2 guys that could get open, I mean, put extra tackles in, put extra linemen in, put guys in that are going to protect the quarterback, and just not have an open door like that, especially by the goal line. You have to max protect. I mean, these are just basic things.
And got sacked for the safety on that one. Brutal.
Right? I mean, they do it over and over again. It's just like laughable that they just don't. You could just see it watching the game that they're so poorly coached.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many penalties do they have? 16 or something?
They did, which is the most accepted penalties the Jets have had against them in 6 years. Yeah.
And they had 2 on every play. They had 2 on a lot of plays. The referees were so confused. They didn't know which penalties to call.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
It's laughable.
The Jets shoulda, coulda, woulda had more, but you can only accept, depending on the situation, sometimes you could get multiple penalties on a play for a dead ball foul, but most of the time they're like, geez, where you got to pick one of these.
It's just crazy. And then you see this guy, Codrington, right?
Yeah.
He was not good enough for our team, right?
Definitely not.
We had to make a big decision. And there he is running back punts. Not only that, he was covering pretty damn good on Garrett Wilson, or whoever he was. I think he was in the end zone.
I can't remember who was. Yeah, it might have been Garrett Wilson. I think in that right corner. I know what you're talking about. I think that was Garrett Wilson.
There. I mean, the guy doesn't look like he's a bad cover corner either.
Yeah.
I mean, what we really needed, to, I don't know who we kept instead of him. Besides Gibson's a non-event, doesn't play offense. He comes in on punt returns, and look, he's very average at best on that, on the punt return side. And again, another week we don't see Corley. I'm just interested to see. I'd like to be a fly on the wall and just see why the hell he's not playing. And for us to make all these like asinine comments, look, it's this, it's that, again, shut the media off. Forget about this. We know what it is. The eye test is it's the coaching. It's the coaching. It's the coaching. It's location. Now, I thought about this. Somebody came up with this, and I kind of agree with, I kind of like this. I know we're all stuck on Vrabel, and I like Vrabel, and I think it's a good coach. But, to have Gruden come in here, because he's an offensive guy.
Yeah.
He's a motivator,
Sure.
and we really need to have a new offense installed here, okay?
And a new defense, for that matter. Yeah.
Right. Okay, look, defense, you could take Wink Martindale, or, Rex is not going to get a head coaching gig, let's face it. And
Probably
he's also not going to play for a first-time, a coordinator turned coach.
Probably not either.
No.
Yeah.
But a Chucky Gruden might be able to sway him to come in, and he might, that might be the right ego, where Gruden comes
comfortable enough in his own skin. He's Chucky, for God's sakes. Yeah, okay.
Right. I mean, there's a guy that at least Rex will respect and say, you know what? Let's, Rex is totally devoted to the defense. Gruden's totally devoted to the offense. They both motivate each side of the ball. I think that's a marriage that could be made in heaven here. Okay. Both of them are 63 years old.
All right.
In that range. They still got time. Gruden's got a shit ton of experience. And Rex knows our team. He knows how to handle the media. I think that's a great combination. What do you think?
Yeah. Again, I've loved Chucky for a long time. He's passionate. I think for any chance to Rex to be a coordinator, the head coach has to have enough balls and experience. Again, to your point, I don't think Ben Johnson could come in as some random guy, as a random example, and Rex Ryan come in, because Rex Ryan would be overpowering. As soon as Ben Johnson starts making mistakes, we'd all be going, Rex is over there. If it's a Mike Vrabel, a Chucky, a whoever that's been around the league and has had success, I think they could keep Rex in his place of just being the DC and helping him that way. But I think on the wrong coaching staff, that could blow up pretty badly. So, yeah, it would need the right combination.
One other thing about Gruden.
Sure.
That's another guy that will have the respect of, assuming we bring back Rodgers as a bridge, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy that's going to be able that he'll respect, that he's going to say, okay, this guy has, you have to have a guy that commands respect.
Mm-hmm.
And Gruden is an offensive guy, because really, when you look at the top coaching candidates, who really is the offensive guru that has a lot of experience? Who would it be besides Gruden?
Munkin, he's got a ton of experience. Not as experience as a head coach, but he's been an offensive play caller at 6 different places, and he's had a lot of success with MVPs and everything else. So he would probably be. But you're right that it's probably a limited list.
And we need to change the offense. I mean, we have an offense that's antiquated. There's no motion. It's very predictable. And, Rex wants to get back into coaching.
Yeah.
And let's face it, some people have to come to the realization that, look, maybe I don't see any team giving him a shot. I really don't. I think the Jets is his only shot. And I really think he wants to get back into coaching. And I think that, again, the only way he gets back in as a coordinator is if he has respect enough for the coach to take a back seat. But if it's not him, there's plenty of defensive coordinators that are out there that could really change this team around, kick some asses, and change up what we've been seeing, which is a very, very predictable defense. Our defense is ridiculously predictable.
Awful.
There's no blitzing. There's no creativity. It's just either you're in zone or you're in man. Nobody's, there's no creativity. It's just, you see it.
Very basic.
The rotation is just ridiculous. There's no reason to see And every time, like when Buffalo was going down the drive there and in the one series, when we turned it over, Quentin Williams was on the sidelines until it was like third down. I mean, when the other teams see that we have our backups in there, whoever isn't Quentin Williams, they run the ball on us, they push us around, and they're able to move the ball much better. I'd love to see the statistics on what the second wave of defensive linemen is and how they perform versus the first line.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would like to see the numbers on it for sure.
And I'm sure they're drastic.
Yeah, I bet they are, which is what I'm excited for a new coaching staff to come in because they're not going to do that bullshit anymore. The Jets are not going to pluck the same fruit from the same tree, so we'll have a new staff that, in theory, should be playing the best guys, which is something I'm all about.
And, and that really leads, I think this rotation really leads these guys into being soft and being out of shape, more out of shape than anything else. You could say guys come in fresh. That's the plus. The minus is after 3 or 4 plays, they're winded and they have to run to the sidelines. When you look at a guy like Calais Campbell, right? The guy's 38 years old.
Yeah, he's old as hell. Yeah.
He plays 15 to 20% more snaps than Quentin Williams.
How does that make sense?
I mean, really, how does that make sense? All right, there you go. And there's many, many, many more players that are top caliber defensive linemen that play considerably more snaps than Quentin Williams. And if you pay a guy like you paying him, and there's, one game a week, you better play every snap or as many snaps as possible. Come back to the sidelines, suck in your oxygen, take some smelling salts, and get your ass back on the field. But and what, I don't know, something Sauce Gardner said yesterday. He said he wouldn't recruit somebody, or
yes,
what's going on with that story?
On social media, T. Higgins posted some random thing on Instagram, and Sauce responded, "Pay the man." Jet fan responded to his "Pay the man," said, "Oh, you want to recruit him to the Jets?" And Sauce said, "Nah, I'm not going to be doing that." A lot of people start freaking out, like, "Oh, what? Is the culture so bad you wouldn't want to recruit him?" And Sauce tried to clarify his comments later, saying, "Well, we couldn't get him because we have Devante and Garrett, so there's no room for him." That's how he tried to do it, but not a lot of people
walked
are
it
buying
back.
that.
He walked it
exactly
back.
right. People are not really buying that. Yeah,
that was bullshit. And you know what? That's the type of guy. He's looking and smelling more and more like a Jamal Adams to me.
Boy.
He's starting to smell like that. He's got that smelly carcass. He doesn't want to look in the mirror and point fingers at himself. He's too busy looking around and going like this.
Yeah.
That's a bad sign. That is a really, really bad sign. I wouldn't give that guy a Buffalo nickel until he proves himself to be at least somebody who could turn around in coverage and catch an interception. One of the things that defensive cornerbacks do in the league.
Supposedly, yeah.
The good ones, they always make picks.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Making comparisons to him, to Revis, to me, is the biggest joke. It really, you got to put a real big pair of rose-colored glasses on for me to buy that. No. Anyhow, everybody have a happy new year. Take care. I just wanted to make my Gruden point. That's going to be my combination going forward. If not him, defensively, Wink Martindale, somebody that's an aggressive defensive coordinator, which I'm sure there'll be a few out there. There always is. Offensively, very hard to find somebody that could be a coach, an offensive mind. Look what Sean Payton's doing. I mean, it's incredible what he's doing. And he's kind of reminds me of the Gruden, right? If you're going to take a guy and kind of say, who does Gruden remind you of?
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton's an offensive genius, you could say, right? I mean,
for sure. Yeah. They'd be dancing in the same waters, I think. Yeah.
Right. And they're about the same age. They got the same experiences. They had success in the past, and they really look like they've moved into the right thing. And, by the way, if we believe his podcast, which he says he loves the Jets, he loves Fireman Ed, Jets,
that's true.
Right?
Yeah, that's
you
true.
Want a guy that wants to be here, and that's kind of rare.
Yeah, we'd love that. Neil, thanks for the call, brother. Appreciate appreciate it. Also, thank you for the memberships a couple weeks ago. We appreciate it. You got 20 memberships. That's 20 raffle tickets for our contest. Neil Sr. is well into that competition, and thank you for gifting at the holiday season. Again, we got nearly 500 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. And again, every Boy Green Coffee Club membership you gift gives you a raffle ticket to our grand prize giveaway that's coming up later this week, which includes jerseys, Jets autograph merch, and all kinds of cool stuff from my collection. The grand prize winner is going to be very, very happy as a Jet fan with all the cool stuff they're going to be getting from that giveaway. All right, a lot to unpack there, certainly. Let's get to our next caller, a cup of Philly noodles.
What's going on, man? Listen, I love Neil. Neil is like, man, I want to take all financial advice from Neil in the world because the way he's living life in his years, like it just looks so comfortable. But it's so comfy, it's actually slightly delusional off the couch. Gruden last signed a 10-year multi-contract with the Raiders. He wants full control of a football team. Woody would die, come back to life, and die again before he allowed a coach to do that. Let's be honest. Stop it right there. Rex is not going to be a coordinator for anybody off of the life of his wife's foot. That man is going to be a head coach for the Jets or die. That's it. Let's stop. All right. Okay. Now we can take our real takes here. All right. The AR benching was like, all right, I wish it happened when it counted in season when he was hurt and he didn't want to come off the field. Right? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I think period on the story is we can always just go back and forth. The defense got destroyed when JD let this one go and traded that one. Like everything fell apart then.
Yeah, this offseason was terrible. The free agency losses on the defensive line, the trading at JFM, the trading for Hassan. Oh, yeah, all of it destroyed it. And that's supposed to be the heartbeat of the team. Yep.
We lost our gunner, Pro Bowler, special teamer. Let him walk. He was a heartbeat of the team. Like, let's just stop. That's exactly what happened. And we did it all because we're like, Aaron wanted this, and this had to work with Aaron that way. And my thing is, at this point in time, with how messy it's gotten and you benched him, you can literally cut the ties and walk away, and everyone could be like, well, the Jets had to do it. It was getting nasty, right? You have to let it go. This is the moment you would do this. And I read your article about JJ, and intriguing as it is, literally, it's the fact that, like you said, you're not going to do it for maybe a pick swap, but you're not going to do it for a first rounder. You just can't.
Yeah, and then you have to understand from their side, I'm sure they're not just going to give him away, so it's complicated. It's complicated. It's not an easy, oh, cool, you're trading for Justin Jefferson, here's 3 first-round picks. Like, he's a hurt guy that's unproven, but a quarterback, and this and this and this. So I don't know. It's if he's on the block, I'm, hey, Vikings, give me a call, but let's figure out what that compensation will be. I don't think that's an easy conversation.
And that's why, if you look at, we look at Tankathon, we look at the standings. For some reason, I want to keep saying it. It's like, if you're going to keep Aaron because it's just forced, because we have no other option, you're going to draft a QB second or third round here who's older, like Dylan Gabriel.
Sure.
Kid was a Heisman finalist. If something goes wrong, you put him in. He's old enough, he can go. But if you don't do that, and you're moving off from AR, and you're bringing in a staff, and you want to make a splash, you trade up. And you go and get your QB. Because New England is not going to take a quarterback.
Well, would they give it to the Jets, though? I don't know.
No. That's what I'm saying. Either Tennessee or Cleveland, and to see how that shakes up. Because Tennessee could win one more game, putting them back a little bit. I think Cleveland tanked on purpose, partially.
That makes sense. Well, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, why they played him over Jameis Winston makes no sense. That feels like obvious tanking.
Yeah. I think, and they had Deshaun work his contract out. So that's I think for them, Cam Ward would be the identical fit there. I think the best fit for him because Shador is not going to want to go to Cleveland, let's be honest. This is brand. So I think Ward would end up there, but then Shador can end up with the Giants, and then we're done. So we'd have to jump up. We'd have to hope either Tennessee is in there or Jacksonville. And we trade
probably
up.
Jacksonville because Tennessee is probably going to be looking for a quarterback too. So Jacksonville would be ideal because there's no divisional ties, there's no nothing, and they would have no problem. Who do they give a shit if they traded to the Jets or this team or that team? Because there's no ties. That's the team as I look at the top blah of this tankathon. The team I want at the top that would, in your scenario of trading up for a quarterback, would be Jackson or Carolina. One of those two, because they have their situations figured out to their belief. That's a trade. The Giants are probably taking their quarterback. Tennessee's probably taking the quarterback. And New England, because of the Jets, probably aren't hooking the Jets up, unfortunately. And maybe Cleveland would take a guy too. So it's just complicated. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you got to believe Las Vegas will give up everything to move up as well.
Oh, for sure. They'd give up their left testicle 100%. They would be, they'd be very aggressive. So you're competing with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm possibly scared about Variable headed over that way. I just like
to where? Vegas?
Yeah. And you see how all these commentators and all these the analysts and everyone's like, well, he could end up over there because of the Brady connection. The fact that Brady had to, goddamn Brady. Yeah,
I know.
I kind of feel
he haunts us again. Yeah,
it could happen. Honestly, he could end up over there, and Vrabel. Not that he's like a Gruden or he needs 5. He needs 10 years. But you give him a 5-year contract, you get him the choice of either QB if they trade up, and I mean Vegas to trade up with New England. I don't know how much Kraft and what's his name get along. Probably not at all.
Oh, but they do have all the Patriot ties. Ziegler, Josh McDaniels, all those people were over there. That would make a lot of sense. Why wouldn't they hook up Tom Brady? I never even thought about that until you just said it right now, because I guess New England didn't have the number 1 pick until just now. That could totally make sense. Raiders sacrifice everything. Patriots back up. They get a boatload of picks. Oh, yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah. And then you're not like, oh, I need Travis Hunter. You're okay with it because at 8, you're probably walking away with multiple first rounds in the next few years.
Yep.
You're a couple of years, you're taking their 8, and you're probably getting a 3rd round pick, wherever that's going to be tops. You're going to be okay if you don't get Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter's not going to play both sides of the ball, let's be honest. I doubt it.
I think if he does, it's limited, right? Like he's not going to be playing his 1,000 crazy snaps. He's not going to be a full-time offensive player, full-time defense player, despite how good his tank may be. The NFL's a different beast. But I could see him spot duty, and it makes more sense to be spot duty on offense than spot duty at corner.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just interested. I mean, but listen, in the end, I think Tyrod gets out of that safety. Again,
that's probably true. Yeah.
I want to give Aaron the benefit of the doubt. The guy has tried throughout the season. He can throw the ball. No one's ever going to take that away from Aaron Rodgers. But my God, you got to throw that safety on him. He actually had an extra second, stood there still, looking at it coming, and did not throw the ball.
You're waiting too much time. Why do you throw it in that situation? And number 2, why are you holding onto the ball? You got to know they're coming like banshees. His explanation in the postgame was like he didn't think they were going to come after him. I'm like, what? Why wouldn't they come after you? You're old, and there's a chance at a safety or a big play or something.
I'm sorry. This is exactly why we need to move forward. And it's not because, again, the legend of A-Rod is going to last forever. Aaron Rodgers.
Of course. Yeah, he will be unaffected by this. Yes. He'll be a Hall of Famer and everything.
Stop.
Yes.
It's got to stop. That's my pledge.
Fair enough.
Stop the bleeding.
Appreciate you, Philly Noodles. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks.
There he is. A cup of Philly Noodles, baby. And by the way, Philly Noodles is in this race as well. He has 4 gifted memberships so far this month. So he's got a bunch of raffle tickets in this hoopla as well here on the program. Again, we got 500 people in the room. Like the video. Hit subscribe, baby. Spread the gospel of all things Boy Green Daily. We'll be back on tomorrow morning for another edition of Boy Green Daily. That'll be coming up at 7:30. And again, remember, folks, we're going to be having a bunch of shows from my old man. I'll be live with him later this week as I travel down to New Hampshire, and we'll be doing the big raffle giveaway. So that is right around the corner, people. Stuff your ballots. Again, one more note. This raffle or contest, and for the emoji contest as well, they're both. It'll be running through January 1st till 12:15 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be doing a special live show at noon for this last second final notes coming in raffle giveaway. Again, it'll be coming up at noon on the 1st. So that is Wednesday. Noon on the 1st, we'll be doing a live show. And then the box offices, ballots, whatever you want to say, will be closed at 12:15 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. So you guys have a little bit more time to get all your action in. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We will see you tomorrow morning. And we'll have more Jets to talk about, I'm sure. God bless.